Hey everyone, it's me again to talk to you about yet another app that can be used for your classroom. And for the most part, it's probably the single most important app that I use on a daily basis. One that is free and easy to use. And you're probably already using it and should be using it. And as you can see here, I'm talking about Google Classroom. Now, even if your district doesn't have it, you can still create it with any sort of Google account. And as you can see here, this is I use this quite a lot. These are a lot of the classes I use. I even do some archive ones. I have specialized classes, you name it. I use it a ton. And quite frankly, it actually pretty much saved me, and my classes, because it's really hard to have to transport every single video that 100 students or so make to my computer just so I can grade it. So this actually solves so many problems for me and has been a lifesaver. So let's go and talk about it. I'm going to go ahead and go to, and if you have that nifty little, thing up there, you can go, to it, or you can just type in, classroom.google.com, and it'll take you to where it is you need to go. Now, I actually did create a Google Classroom for my last class as part of my final project, and said, hey, listen, go ahead and join it and see what it's like to be a part of my, class. And it was actually a lot of fun. Now, for you guys, it's actually, if you've done this, it's great. But what you want to do is it says create or join, but you want to go ahead and create. Now, if you are like my district, and actually we have the G Suite and also what's called Aries Portal, you can actually create it in Aries, and it's really easy to add all the students. And for us, even the counselors can automatically add people right away, which really saves you a ton of time having to give the students the code and everything. But if that's what you want to do, and you can still do that, that's okay. Class name, let's just pretend as though it's a video production class. We'll just do this year, make it easy. You can add in a section, subject, room, so on and so forth, but you name it. I'll just go and create it. That's the easy stuff. Okay, so now it's creating it. You can select a different theme. Obviously, I don't know if I want it to be of food. That's odd. Let's check out English and history. Not really anything good so far. Nothing that. Oh, there we go. Arts. Okay, is there any artsy stuff that I want? Of course. Everyone forgets about video, right? I guess video is not an art. Well, I guess we'll do a movie one. Yes. But who goes to the movies anymore? We all watch it on our home screens. Okay. All right, so here is the Google Classroom environment for you, per se. Now, they've made a lot of changes, so this is more of an updated version. This is 2019 here. If you need to give the class code to whoever it is, you can do it like that. You can even display it to make it easy for people to be able to see on whichever screen it is that you're operating. But there's a lot of different awesome things that you can do with it, and some, things that might help you to maybe make it better for you. So, pretty much this area is the stream, and this should mostly be reserved for any information that is necessary for what you're going to be doing today, or it could be reminders, or you name it, so on and so forth, right? What's great about it is that you can add pictures, add video, and an awesome lesson I learned once is that if you find yourself having to constantly keep, sending things to all the multiple classes that you're supposed to send to, what you should do is actually create a single, document in Google Docs, send that, and if you need to make any changes, it changes it for all your classes. Man, that saved me so much time knowing that. And what's also great about anything that you want to write, hello class, welcome to video production. You can select here, and you can, if you have multiple classes, and I suggest doing this, have multiple classes so it's easier for you to organize. Now, if you're elementary school, okay, great. That job's pretty easy. You just do it all in one. But if you're like, us, middle school and high school teachers, you have multiple classes of the same thing. Well, yeah, it'd be great to be able to have it all in one class. It just makes your life a little bit more difficult, especially if you have Aries. If you have Aries, the great thing about Aries is that you can actually grade things in the class, in this environment, and then import it into Aries and then it's all done for you. It's really great. So, and if you have that, you can send it to multiple things, or maybe you only want to send a message to certain students. Now, since no students are added here, it just does all students, but it would individually allow you to be able to click the students to be able to do it. So we'll go and post it, see what it looks like, so on and so forth, right? Now, if you're like me and you're a high school student, sometimes, you know, those kids can be stinkers, right? I already noticed this, like add class comment. A good idea for some of you is to see right here when I go into the settings is to change certain things. In the stream, oh man, I want students to post and comment because, man, I love hearing about, you know, all the inappropriate things that they might want to say. So I would suggest only teachers post or comment. I would suggest that. And same thing goes for when you do assignments, and we'll get to that here in a second. As far as show condensed notifications, that's kind of up to you. Show deleted items, it's all right. For the most part, that's okay. Go and save it. People is where the students are added, and you can add students, you can invite students, or it's easier just to give them the code, and then they just import it, you know, and put it where it needs to go. There are options, especially if you do have Aries as well, to also send invites to parents to be able to look at the stuff. And the thing is, I'm kind of hesitant about that. I'm like, okay, you're in high school, you should be nearly an adult, you should be able to know how to take care of it. But in these extreme cases that a parent, you know, is a helicopter parent, it's not a bad idea to do that. Just know that they'll be probably looking at your stuff like constantly. Okay, let's go to classwork. Now, it used to be that everything was in that stream, and I used to love it, but for the most part, they really started to complicate things. What's great about it is that you can add stuff from the class drive folder, or be able to find stuff. You can have a Google Calendar where everything that you add is a part of that, which makes your life so much easier. Instead of having to remind them, it does it for you. What? I know, crazy. Of course, there are other apps called Remind. I'm not a big fan, but for the most part, those are different ways that they can double check to see if if they have something they have to do. You create, there's a whole bunch of different things you can have here. Assignment, these are great, and it allows you to points. I would suggest keeping things in topics for the most part, because like you create a topic, for instance, film. It's easier for you to find stuff, and it helps you to organize things and move it up and down. And that's what's great now. It used to be that you had to do it one click at a time, and now you can just drag and drop entire tabs to the beginning and bottom, and it made life so much easier. You put in your tile, you put in your instructions, you put the points, and if you work with Aries, those points have to be exactly the same. And then when the assignment's done, you have to grade it and then return it, and so that you can import into the other one. So we're just going to put, you know, hello, you know, instructions hi, and then go from there. You can also add in all sorts of different things, as you know, video that you want to share. And the thing I think where Google sometimes kind of messes up with this a little bit is the fact that, like, I would like it to be all in one place, and now that they have the stream and classwork, now they're having to go back and forth between the two, which I don't think is a good idea. So I think I'm going to do a lot of the information in Google Sites instead, and I think that'll help things out. All right, we're going to go ahead and assign it. Make sure to put in due dates, whatever it is that you need. Putting due dates allows them to know, oh, it'll give them a reminder knowing when they're supposed to do stuff. But I can also create another topic area. For instance, let's say, you know, commercials or whatever. I add it, and you see how I can easily move it from top to bottom between the two. Some other things that you can do, you can create as well, especially, which is awesome, is do a question. And like I suggest, we see where it says they can reply to each other. Don't do that. They can edit their answer. It just depends on, you know, if you want them to give a chance to be able to make corrections or whatever else. That's not a bad way either. But you can ask a question like an entry ticket. That's what I do, or exit tickets. You know, write your questions. They put in the instructions, put your points, and it's pretty easy from there on out. Some other things that you can do is create a quiz. And then it automatically does a Google form, and then when you go to Google Forms, you can put it in there, and it automatically will import the grades, whatever they do, which is also pretty cool. No, who's not using this? It's beyond me. And what's one of the best things, and the things I probably use the most, well, I have no idea what this material is, but reuse post. I use it. I even use it so crazily that, like, when you look at my classes right here, I'll actually keep an archive of what I intend to do, and in that archive, I get it ready for that particular day, and then all I do is I repost it to my assignments, you know, to whichever classroom it is. You know, I repost it. I select the old one, I select the thing that I want to reuse it, and then I can add it to all my classes. And so if I make any mistakes, I can correct it before I start sending it to everyone. Otherwise, I have to make corrections for every single one, and you don't want to do that. And that's what I do, and it seems to work really well. And so I have a bunch of archive classes that I can just keep reusing all the information from. So hopefully this is giving you some ideas, some extra things that you can do. It's, like I said, it's one of the best things that has ever happened to my classroom, and I hope that you enjoy it as well. Using technology to create, adapt, and personalize learning experiences that foster independent learning and accommodate learner differences and needs. Model for colleagues' identification, exploration, evaluation, curation, and adoption of new technological resources and tools for learning.